It is the Judiciary Committee's initiative this year, an initiative led by the chairs and also with the support of our Speaker, our Senate President, and all of my colleagues here today. We'll introduce them shortly, to really take action this session on violence against women, human trafficking, and keeping everybody, and in particular women and our families and our children, safe.
And we've had some tremendous successes over the last several years in putting policies in place that really do change our culture, change that culture that Representative Tong was talking about in preventing violence against women. But this legislation fills in some of those gaps, ensures that victims of human trafficking, no matter what their age, will be protected, removes the absolutely ludicrous possibility that a rape victim could have to have a custody battle over a child with their rapist. Why is that even up for debate anymore? But thankfully, hopefully, this legislation will pass, and that will no longer be a place of doubt for victims of sexual violence in the future. When a firearm is part of the scenario, a woman is 5 times more likely to be killed by her domestic violence abuser. 5 times more likely. This is a question of safety. The minute a woman comes forward and asks for a temporary restraining order is the most dangerous moment of her life. It is the most dangerous moment to make that choice to come forward in a public arena and say, I can't take this anymore, please help me. That is when she is most likely to be the victim of further violence and potentially a violent act that leads to her death. That's why it's so critical that this legislation passes. Women who come forward and ask for help should have full protection, and their abusers should no longer be able to possess firearms during that window of time that is the most dangerous and most lethal moment in that victim's life.
We as legislators, our top priority has to be to keep people in our state safe. And I don't know what could be more important than protecting women and children from these despicable types of violence. And so the bill we have before us today, 5623, has 3 main provisions. First, it addresses domestic violence and particularly tries to protect victims of domestic violence from guns. So the bill essentially says that if a person has a temporary restraining order against him, he has to temporarily relinquish his firearm in order to protect a woman from gun violence. And we know that women are 5 times more likely to be killed by a gun when in an abusive relationship when her abuser has a gun. 5 times more likely to be killed. On average, over the past 10 years, there have been approximately 14 intimate partner homicides each year from guns. 14 intimate partner homicides. We have to do better, and this is a common sense measure to protect victims from gun violence in these situations. Secondly, the bill looks at human trafficking, and it aims to address the fact that there's over 200 incidents of human trafficking going on in our state, and it requires better awareness and training and reporting from hotel and motel employees and law enforcement. Thirdly, the bill looks at women who have been raped and have to deal with custody battles with their rapists. Right now in Connecticut, if a woman is raped, her rapist can have custody rights over the child if she's impregnated by that rape and goes forward with the pregnancy. They can have custody rights. That is absolutely appalling and outrageous that the woman who's already been traumatized has to experience further trauma and psychological pain and now deal with violent confrontations and custody battles with her rapist.